Well, he has covered some of the biggest news stories in television, spanning the United States and beyond. 50 years of not just telling stories, but immersing himself in them. And if you were here in the early 2000s, you were fortunate enough to hear some of those stories too. And now Ross Becker has put all of those stories and experiences together in his new book, What You Saw and What You Didn't. And we are fortunate enough to have him here with us tonight. Hello, Ross Becker. Thanks for coming by tonight.
I'm glad to be back in Rochester and enjoying all the great restaurants.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We have so many.
Aren't there?
Oh, so great to have you. And this book, I was reading through it last night and this morning a little bit. You've had so many amazing experiences. We'll get to a couple of those in a minute. But first, I think viewers are probably wondering what the heck you've been up to, besides writing a book.
Well, I am retired now, but I also do a lot of coaching and training. We go around the country and I train young journalists. So many people helped me early on in my career, and I'm sure everybody is the same in their own careers. And I promised them that I would give back. And so that's what I do. If somebody calls me and says, I need your help, I just help them. And that's the way it works.
Awesome. And you got a little free time on your hands, so you decided, I'll write a book.
Let's write a book,
What prompted you to do this? This is really super cool.
The truth is I've been working on it a long time. I found that the stories I covered changed me. They made me better, worse. They affected me in some way. And so I would write little short stories about my experiences, things you didn't see when the story aired. And I eventually put them all together in one book with some quotes, and hopefully people will be able to get something from each of those stories.
Well, and I was reading through it, like I said last night, and I was reading one, then I read two, and then I read three, and I just kept wanting to read it. Really, I mean, this is so good. It's such great material, and I think it humanizes what we do as journalists, because so often I think people think we just sit behind a prompter and read the prompter or, write a story. We really do, I think, a lot of us immerse ourselves in these stories. What are some of the most interesting experiences that you've had?
Overall, I would say it's the people. And no matter where you are in the world, the people are the same. They have the same fears, they have the same worries, they also have the same happiness. And a lot of the stories we cover, you see something on the screen at home. Look there's me when I was young.
Hey, look at you, little whippersnapper. And look at all that blonde hair.
Yes, I know.
Not much has changed.
No, I still have hair. That's the one thing I still have. But no matter where you go, people are the same. And a lot of these stories, that's the theme, is that whether it's an astronaut, like Sally Ride, the first female astronaut for the United States, or the mom who lost her daughter into a suicide, all those human feelings are the same no matter go. And you watch a television news story on the screen, we show them every night here on ABC6. There's something you don't see many times, and that's the humanity.
And I think when you can bring that to light for people, look at you, bring that to light for people, it really, you can see that, you can sense it, that you're not just talking to the camera, you're actually or impactful experience that you've ever had.
Well, like you said, I've covered many stories, but I think for me, and I won't say I was cynical, but I was a bit cynical, saying, it's just the Pope. But no, there is something special about the leader of the Catholic Church and about being
changed your soul. That's beautiful. I love that. Let's talk too about one of the most difficult stories, let's say, that you've got. And you've covered, I mean, you've been everywhere, like Indianapolis and, a number of places, Los Angeles, one of the biggest markets in the country. Which story was the most difficult for you?
Well, just from a tragedy point of view, I covered a Mexican gas explosion in a suburb. Well, just from a tragedy point of view, I covered a Mexican gas explosion in a suburb of Mexico City. A huge Pemex plant exploded, and the fire just was a flash fire. Well, just from a tragedy point of view, I covered a Mexican gas explosion in a suburb of Mexico City. A huge Pemex plant exploded, and the fire just was a flash fire through a neighborhood. We got there, shortly, within hours of it, and we were in Mexico City. A huge Pemex plant exploded, and the fire just was a flash fire through a neighborhood. We got there, shortly, within hours of it, and we were with my photographer and my producer, and we're walking through the neighborhoods, And frankly, there are people that were burned to death,
Yeah.
and they're still there. They're laying in their beds.
Yeah.
Their pets.
Yes.
I mean, I still have those images stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the family is there. There's someone sitting on the porch who survived.
Yeah.
And we talked to them and said, yeah, my family's inside and they're gone and nobody's helping them. And
Heart-wrenching.
It was heart-wrenching.
Heart-wrenching.
And again, stories that change your soul.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that people at home don't see.
Yeah.
That the reporters go through.
And that
to
we,
get
that
the
we are
stories.
impacted by these stories. I mean,
Yes.
we're human beings and we have emotions, right?
Yeah.
There is so much to go through, and unfortunately, we just zipped through 5 minutes like
Yes,
that,
of
right?
course.
So if you want to check out Ross's book, it is, and I'm telling you, it really is very, very compelling. And the lessons learned in here, at least for me, were really remarkable. Where can folks get this?
Amazon has it, Barnes & Noble online, and Walmart online. And also the publisher is bookbaby.com. If you go to their website, you can buy it there.
You're everywhere, mister.
I know.
Things don't change. Well, congratulations again, my friend.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on. And I'm going to go out and eat at one of those great Rochester restaurants.